Yeah. Ha ha. We vibing. We vibing. We vibing. We vibing. With who? With Reeves. With Reeves and Reeves. That's right. Today we have a special guest. Special guest. Talented brother. Intelligent brother. Business owner. Producer. Engineer. Recording artist. Label owner and owns his own radio station. K100. That's right, y'all. We got Blizm, y'all. Blizm here. Oh, just enter the waiting room. And Blizm is here.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
indeed.
indeed. All right, what's happening, brother?
What's
What's
happening, brother?
happening,
How
brother? How
you?
you? I'm good, bro. I can't complain. Get this screen set up right here.
All
All
right.
right. That's right. I think that's right. All right, what's going on, bro?
Oh, I'm
Oh,
good.
I'm
I'm
good.
good.
I'm good.
Chilling. I'm
Chilling. I'm
chilling. I'm
chilling. I'm
chilling.
chilling.
We
We
listen to the
listen to the
dangerous.
dangerous. All right. How you feel about it?
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
feel
feel
about it. You know
about it.
what
You know
I feel
what I
about
feel
it?
about it?
I feel
I feel
like
like
it's a
it's the
story.
story.
You're
It is.
telling
Telling
what you
what you
used to
used to
be
be
or what
or
you're
what you're
doing
doing
now and
now
trying
and
to
trying to
like
like
lead the
lead the
younger
younger
generation
generation
out
out
of
of
dangerous
dangerous
areas they may
areas they
be
may be
straying
straying
into.
into. Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. You know what I'm saying? We can get into it on the interview, but yeah, that's the summation of it. Yep, that's pretty much it. Yeah,
I
I
like it. And
like it. And
I
I
love
love
albums that
albums
feel
that
like
feel like
cohesive
cohesive
pieces of
pieces of
work. That's
work.
just
That's just
personally me.
personally me. Word. That was the importance of doing an album. That's why it's been so long. But we'll talk about why it's been so long since I did an album. But I'm an album guy myself, so when I hear them, over the years, you've had albums that sound like a bunch of singles just put on one disc, like a mixtape. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's not an
Yeah.
album. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The classic albums have a linear storyline and overall arcing theme to them. So that's what I wanted to present to the people. You know what I mean?
I'm
I'm
glad you
glad you
understand that
understand that
because a
because
lot
a
of
lot
people
of people
don't.
don't.
You know
You
what?
know
I
what? I
think
think
a lot
a
of
lot of
albums come
albums
out
come out
sounding like
sound like
playlists
playlists
even
even
more.
more. Yeah, yeah.
Even more
Even
than the
more than the
mixtape. It
mixtape.
sounds
It
like a
sound like a
playlist, a
playlist, a
random
random
playlist.
playlist. Right. At least with a mixtape, you had different. You know what I'm saying? You have one artist full of just like what is this? I don't know, like your personal song selection type joint instead of like an overall arcing theme. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm an album guy. I'm an older guy, and I'm an unk. So that's the whole point of the project. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
Cool,
Did you
cool.
ever
Did you
have a
ever have a
problem with
problem
the
with
unk
the unk
status?
status? Do I have a problem with it?
So
So
what?
what? You say do I have a problem with the unk status?
Did you
Did
ever
you
have
ever
a
have a
problem with
problem
it?
with it?
Like
Like
not liking it?
like I was resistant to it, in my early 40s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I hit my early 40s and people would be, teenagers or whatever. At that point, you still an unk to them. Like, you know what I mean? Even though you know what I'm saying, you late 30s, early 40s, you either big bro or unk at that point, depending on their age and their status.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for me, um, I kind of got more into it right around like my mid 40s. You know what I'm saying? And I'm in my late 40s now. So right around my mid 40s, I just kind of started embracing it, and I started looking to when my son and his friends were like, graduating from high school and just the way they revered me as a not just as an artist, but as a man, right? It was like I wasn't their daddy, and they got daddies, and some of them got daddies at some point, some of them don't, but they will always come around me and be like, "Oh, what's up?" Like, and it's like even my friends' kids that were in their 20s or whatever, they will always do that, and it's because I have one of those households where we have the get-togethers and the barbecues and stuff at my house. You know what I'm saying? And I'm one of
Yeah.
those houses. You know what I'm saying? That we often get together and fellowship amongst family and friends. And so I'm walking around and just like one day, it's just like it dawned on me like I'm literally on the grill with some slides on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like watching all the I'm in my basement is full of like 20 something year olds over there at the pool table kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Chilling. And I look at the other side of my other old friends over there smoking cigars, but you know what I'm saying, on the deck, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here now. You know what I'm saying? And I had to just like, it all came together for me. You know what I'm saying? And so from that moment on, I was like, why fight it? And then it made less sense even more to try to fight it creatively when I decided to put this project out. Cause like, I feel like one of the reasons a lot of older artists were rejected, in the past maybe decade, 15 years ago, when a lot of people were like, really like older guys sit down, like stop rapping type joint.
Yeah.
It was because a lot of them was trying to sound like they 20 something, even though they're 30, 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, when I decided to do the Dangerous, like creatively, I was like, okay, so now that I've actually accepted in real life and all of my music, if you actually go back and listen to my catalog, what I'm talking about in that time, at that moment, is what I am. You know what I'm saying? So you can hear the evolution of self in the music, right? My mind frame and what I'm on. But this time I was like, listen, it doesn't make sense to actually come to this, epiphany in my actual life and for it not to reflect on the music. It just made no sense whatsoever. So that's why the Dangerous Unk has the kind of music from a creative standpoint, from a from a production standpoint, from a subject matter standpoint that it has.
Okay, but what about the dangerous part? That's the thing that intrigued me. It wasn't just the unks, the dangerous unk.
Right. So the Dangerous Unk is because, if you actually been knowing me for my whole life, then you know my background. You people who know me know what I've actually been in real trouble for, right?
Yeah,
Like my real trouble was some dangerous, like I had to, yeah, I had to go there. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So like if you know who I really am, it's like, bro, don't play with me. I'm not to be played with, like for real. Like, but I'm the coolest cat until I get mad, right?
yeah.
So I'm one of them kind of people. So I have let my temper get the best of me, and it got me in serious trouble. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm still like that, but it's like now it takes much more to push me to that point now, right? And I'm more ample to be like, you know what, you got it. Whereas before, you know what I'm saying? And if you listen to my older music and my older catalog, you can see before I was like, I'm ready to set it off right now, like for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah.
grew up and I matured. So the dangerous part, that's like one part of the dangerous part. But also I like to make it twofold because the dangerous means two things. It's like I can literally be a dangerous person if I'm pushed to it, right? Like anybody else, I feel like, right?
True.
Anybody who's, you know what I'm saying, like a real man, like, you know what I'm saying, if you ain't no hoe, like you ain't going, and I ain't going either. So what's up? You feel what I'm saying? I'm like that for real. But I don't go around starting stuff, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm way past that point in life. But the other part of the dangerous part is the amount of knowledge I have after all of these years of living and all the years I have been doing, stuff in the music industry. I'm actually a dangerous person because with knowledge becomes power. And everybody says, with power, you can make things happen. Well, I got a lot of knowledge up here in my brain right now at this point, just from being a grown man and also just over 20 something years in the music industry. So it's like, yeah, I'm also dangerous to a lot of people because of what I know, right? And people like to bypass people like me because you can't get over on me in the industry in no way, shape, or form because I know all the scams and all the tricks. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like that also makes me a dangerous person too to a lot of people. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people be like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he the OG and he dangerous because he way too smart. He know way too much. You're right. You know what I'm saying? You're right.
That's a great breakdown, a great concept.
Yeah.
You know, so, so when I hear that album, I just vibe out. I love it's very soulful. Is that a purpose?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's well, here's the thing. And I've said this before, like my whole thing with the production, the choice of production is definitely really like by chance. Like I meant to choose those kind of beats, literally all the way down to the tempo of the albums, right? Like the
Right.
tempo, like I would literally start off with I would not look for a track if it didn't have a specific tempo. And that tempo is the same tempo. If you go back and start matching it with older records from the like what we would like some people like to call the golden era of hip hop, where songs were popular. For me, I was
Yeah.
always a big fan of the records from the artists that had the singing on them, right? You know what I'm saying? Whether it be LL Cool J, whether it be Pac, whether it be Biggie. One of my favorite biggest songs is with R. Kelly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One of my favorite out of the whole Wu-Tang catalog, still Method Man and Mary J is still all I need to get by is one of the biggest records. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? With Tupac, some of his biggest records have singing on the hook, right? And so all of my like, if you start going back to the people that I really like, even with Scarface, you know what I'm saying? A lot of the Ja Rule, Ashanti, if you go back, you know what I'm saying, and start looking at a lot of the hits from R&B from that era, of the era that I come from, a lot of the songs that were the Chop Tartan songs were a blend of R&B and hip hop. Go back and look at it. I did. And they all had a similar BPM. You know what I'm saying? Right? So I was like, when I decided to make this album, I'm like, I'm taking them back. Like I'm doing the music from my era and I'm doing an album that kind of feels more so that would lock in with people of my age that's in their 40s and maybe even 50s, you know what I'm saying? And if the people that like it in their 20s, if people like it in their 20s and 30s, cool, but they're not the target demographic at all. I didn't target them at all. I didn't consider how they feel about it. I don't care, right? So I consider my demographic. I don't really care if
Yeah.
you like it. If you're 20 something and you 30 something and you like it, it's a plus for me. It's not mandatory. I didn't consider what they would like when I was creating it from a creative standpoint. Just push them to the side because they're not for me. I'm not targeting them. You know what I'm saying? So with that being in mind, I targeted people and I looked at the BPM and I looked at what were the biggest hits. And if you go back and look at it, it was a blend of R&B and hip hop. When you put a pin on that and come back and do the history on me as a ghostwriter, I'm actually a writer. I've written R&B and I've written songs for like a lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? And so with this made more than likely me in my last album, I wanted to give them I wanted to give them bars, but I also wanted to give them my pen as a writer. And so all the hooks that you're hearing, I wrote all of them. All the arrangement, I did all of it. I mixed the whole album. You know what I'm saying?
I was
So
going to ask you that.
yeah. So I'm an engineer too, right? Now I'm also a producer, but I didn't produce a lot on this. Like I did some additional production, but I went out and I searched and I worked with other producers on this more so where on my other albums, I would have a lot of production that I did myself. But on this one, I wanted a specific sound. And the sound that I wanted is not the kind of beats that I make. So I was big enough and smart enough to know now, like, it's not about me as a producer. It's like, this is about me as an artist and a lyricist. So I wanted to highlight my bars and I wanted to highlight my pen, my hook writing skills and so I was like, the album creatively, I took all that into consideration. And that's why you hear a lot of singing on it, right? A lot of the songs have hooks that are melodic and in a certain tempo. That's by design. You know what I'm saying? Because those were the ones that I felt like would resonate more with my demographic, who I was targeting. And so therefore, when you hear the album, it's a lot of singing and stuff like that. And then even there's 16 bar verses. You know what I'm saying? You know, where a lot of people now are doing 8 and 12s. You know what I'm saying? No, I got 16s, but I only got 2. So we can keep the songs, because I know songs need to be shorter now. So instead of no song has a third verse unless it has a feature like Family Ties or something like that, right? For the
Yeah.
most part, it's like 2 verses. And so I can still keep the song about 3 minutes long, but still do 16 so I can get my point across. And because I still do 16 bars because I'm actually talking about a specific topic. So in order for it to resonate with you and get to the point and tell my story, I need those 16. So I was like, okay, I need the 16 bars. Well, we're gonna not do third verses and we're not gonna do too many bridges and we're gonna fade it off and still keep the song about 2:45, 3 minutes. And most of the songs, if you look at it, still about 3 minutes long. So I took all that because I'm like, okay, I know people's attention is shortened now. They don't really gravitate to 4 and 5 minute songs anymore. Okay, that's changed and I can't do nothing about that. So how can I fix that creatively, but still get my point across and still give it the mood and feel of like a golden era project? And that's how it all came to be.
And I respect that. As an artist and producer, I feel where you're coming from. That makes sense because I've done it where I've done 4 minute songs and people look at me like it's a 15-minute song.
Right, right. You know what I'm saying? So like
Like,
the
man,
only
this
song on
is the
the album
third verse. Why?
right, you know what I'm saying? So the only song on the album that has that reaches that mark, that reaches that 3 minute and 45 second mark is Family Ties, and that's because it has features. You know what I'm saying? And that song is special because my family is on it. I couldn't shorten the record. Like that's my cousin on the hook, my brother and my son featuring. There
Oh
was
wow.
nobody was getting shorter. You just got to sit through this one, fam. You know what I'm saying? You know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
feel
You
you.
feel me? You know what I'm saying? But if you notice, the rest of the records are all, fading off about 320. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere around there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's cool. It gives people the content they need. It's okay. Let's be real. There's fans of music that are older and want songs that have 2 and 3 verses. They want songs that don't
Yeah.
fade out after a minute and 16 seconds.
And that's the thing about it. Again, everybody needs to keep in mind before you listen to my project, and it's a big caveat. If you are not at least 35, but I really mean 40 at this point, you know what I'm saying? The album really ain't necessarily for you, fam. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just being real. Like, it's like if you like it and you're young, that's cool. Because every young person that I know that likes this record, that likes my album, that I've talked to, because there have been young people that like, oh, you sliding. If you notice, they are more mature for their age. You know what I'm saying? Their choice of music, you know what I'm saying? They tend to, even the artists that they listen to from their generation is a certain type of artist. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you don't find, you know what I'm saying, people that like Kodak Black that like my music. And it's not a knock on Kodak Black. They just sonically and everything about it is like different. You know what I'm saying? Like, if they grew up listening to drill, you know what I'm saying? If they grew up listening to King Von or something like that, like, bro, my album is not for you. And that's okay. See, I think the big problem with hip hop is, especially when they started saying older rappers need to get out the game and all this other kind of ageism, it was because we were trying to party with the nephews and the nieces, and we the unks. You know what I'm saying? And I literally looked at my real actual life and was like, bro, even when we at the parties and the barbecues, and I'm at I have a nice size home, so I can fit, you know,
Yeah.
100 people in my home, you know, my yard and my basement easy, right? So I've had parties at my house where there's 150 people at my house. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting back watching, and I'm noticing even then, we kind of sort of cold mingling with them, but the young people over there got their section. We got our section over here. We chilling. It's like me. My kids are here, and then their friends come too. Even in the social structure, even when we all in the same party, we're not necessarily partying together. Even the DJ is kind of like going in between, trying to please us and please them. So he's playing a little bit of Sexy Red, but then he's got to come back over here and play a little bit of Pac and Biggie for us. He's got to go. The DJ is like, you got to be a real DJ to even DJ at one of my parties. You know what I'm saying? Like, because
That's good.
right, because of the social dynamic. So when I did the album, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make an album for us. If they don't like it, wait your turn or change the channel or do whatever it is that you want to do, fam. But I just was like, when I decided to do the Dangerous Unk, I was like, I'm gonna make an album for everybody that's sitting over here on the back with the cigars on the back porch. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's like literally my mind frame when I did it, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's the whole point. And I think that hip hop, we tried to put everybody all together. Hip hop is 50 years old, bro. It got grown and it had kids, and guys got grandkids. You know what I'm saying? So hip hop itself is 50 years old, fam. So how can we sit here and try to make it seem like it's okay for somebody my age to try to be making a certain kind of, that don't make no sense at all. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to hear, you know, Jay-Z making music that's, you know, he could collaborate with a young artist, but that young artist need to conform to what Jay-Z's style is and need to get on the track of Jay-Z's choosing, not the other way around. You know what I'm saying? Because he's Hov, right? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, that's the same way I feel. Like, I can collaborate with a young artist, but it's going to be on the vibe that I'm on. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to collaborate with you and be like you. If anything, you got to level up and be like me and be what I'm on. If I want to feature with you or anything like that. And so all of that taken into consideration, it's just why I gave the body of work that I gave to the people, honestly. You know what I mean?
True. Do you have plan on music videos?
Yeah. So we got some coming down the pipe. I think the first one we're gonna do is gonna be the for the single Clean Up Nice. There's a lot to get some of these videos. Some of the I haven't even like people were like, well, why don't you drop the visual and everything first? I was like, nah, I'm gonna do it this way. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna roll the videos out as the album gets more momentum. Because I did a real rollout on the album, so I was like, I just wanted people to I wanted the music out here right. Cause I did a huge rollout with the album, and so now it's out. So I think that we're gonna go ahead and shoot the video for Clean Up Nice within like not even less than a month, maybe like the next week or two. I'm probably gonna start production on that. And I also plan on shooting up to at least 3 videos from this project. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
What do you think the other videos? I like Three of Us.
3 of Us is at the top of the list because that's the song that's been getting the most feedback, like, which is weird. It's not weird to me. I don't want to say weird because I really love that song and it's one of my personal favorites. But I am very surprised at how many other people like that song. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, fam. Like, I was on the fence about 3 of Us, honestly, and everybody was like, "Bro, you almost left off." Well, you have to hear the rest of the songs that got cut to understand. You know what I'm saying? Because I recorded about 20 something songs, and only 14 of them made it right. You know what I'm saying? There was some other really good songs. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that may come out as singles or something later. I don't know, but not an album. But 3 of Us, because of the production and the way it is, I just felt like, are we too far past that era where they really care about this kind of artistry? And I'm talking about my generation too, because even our generation is like, do we really appreciate that still? Or do we still kind of want to just, I don't know. So I was kind of on the fence of it. But then ultimately I was like, you know what? It's just too good it's just too different from everything else to leave off. And I put it on there, and surprisingly, it's the first song that so many people bring up when they talk to me about the album. Like, yo, 3 of Us is crazy, bro. Like, and I was like, it was the production for me. I didn't know if y'all would rock with the production. You know what I'm saying? I was like, the beat is so grimy. I love it. I love it. It reminds me of like early Eminem. You know what I'm saying? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? With the beat. So it's like, yeah. I was like, it sounds so. Yeah, it sounds dark. It's dark like that. And I was like, are they gonna appreciate the production? You know what I'm saying? And that's
I
why I
think
was
that's my
concerned.
favorite song.
You're not the only one that says that. And it's so crazy to me because I'm like, it's just so many other songs that I like that song. I love every song on this album, bro. This was a making the track list and picking the songs was painstaking for me, bro, because there was so many songs that I did not want to cut off, but I knew I had to keep it to a certain length, right? And it was tough for me, bro. Like it really took me like 2 months to really. I had the songs done, and it still took me 2 months to decide after doing little beta tests with friends and stuff like this to pick these 14 songs. 2 whole solid months of really pulling up on my DJ friends, pulling up on my guys, like, yo, bro, you gotta listen, because I can't pick it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? And getting information and feedback from people. You know what I'm saying? Like, other people helped me pick these 14 songs, bro, because I had some other stuff, and people were like, you gonna leave that off? And I'm like, right, you see my problem. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Good
Right. You know
problem to
what I'm
have.
saying? Right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, right, you see my problem. And they're like, well, so then everybody starts saying, well, you got to keep a theme, bro, because you got this whole dangerous unk. And what's crazy is the name Dangerous Unk came way after the songs were done. I didn't even know what I was going to name it.
Really?
No, that's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to get. If everybody could really just lock in and just listen to what I'm saying. Imagine having I had all of these records done,
Yeah.
right? Except like like Nephew. Like Nephew was one of the last records that I recorded. And if you notice, it's the only one that I say in a verse where I say it's the Dangerous Unk, right? I actually say the word Dangerous Unk and
Yeah,
refer to
yeah.
the title because it was one of the last ones that I recorded, and I kind of was floating with the idea of it being named the Dangerous Unk at that time. Everything I had to go back and kind of like after I really got the name and I started actually doing the marketing, before the album came out at the very last minute, I went back and like kind of threw some ad libs on 2 songs where you hear me say the Dangerous Unk at the end of the record after the fact. You know what I'm saying? Like months later. Because I was like, I don't even say the Dangerous Unk on the album because I didn't even know the name of the album, right? Until I kind of grouped it all together. So once I started letting people hear the songs, and then I came up with the name. So then my friends were like, okay, so if you're gonna name it that, you got to put this one, and this one on there, bro, because now you're running with a theme. And it's like before this particular song made sense, but now it don't make sense because now you kind of shifted modes on me, like what you trying to come across as. And I was like, damn, you right. You know what I'm saying? So then the name of when I came up with the title and the marketing, it changed the dynamics of what songs were gonna make the album. You know what I'm saying? Which is literally in the reverse of how it normally works if you ever done an album before. You kind of theme the songs around what your overarching goal is. But once I came up with that theme, it was like, no, you got the songs for it. You just can't put that song on there because that's going to go against everything you're saying. And Like Nephew was one of those records, if you listen to it, it's like Nephew goes against everything the Dangerous Unk is actually saying, except for the fact that if you listen to it, that's what I'm telling you. The point is, don't make me act like Nephew. You feel what I'm
Yeah, yeah.
saying? Right? Like, I am an unk. The Like Nephew is that one that I slid in on y'all to remind y'all of my old kind of style of what I used to be on, and kind of sort of for the younger people, but like because of the production and everything. But it's like, hey, but I'm an unk, so don't make me act like Nephew, right? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't make me revert back. So that's why Like Nephew is the only song like that on the entire project, and it was one of the last records recorded. Mm-hmm.
That's great. That's great. But usually, when it comes to the creative process, how long does it usually take you for like for previous albums? How long did it take you to get it done?
Nowhere near this long, bro. Nowhere near this
Oh,
long. This took 2 years.
damn.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And it's because back all of my other projects, all I was focused on, all I cared about when I was doing them were that. I didn't have anything else going on. I didn't have K100 Radio, which is my broadcast. I didn't have that. I didn't have I didn't have my other business that I have that I run. You know what I'm saying? I just didn't, and it's like I still had that kind of like tunnel vision of like I mentioned on uh, lunch is over, that tunnel vision where you feel like, yeah, I still got a chance to like I'm still going for the top. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had that like still like in my brain, like kind of sort of. You know what I'm saying? So that made me kind of lock in on a different kind of level, right? But with this album, I completely have. I had no regard of time, or I didn't care how long it took. Once I decided to commit it to doing this record, it was like I did songs when I felt like it. Like I literally would like go weeks without recording. Don't feel like it. Got other stuff to do. Don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'll get it done when I get it done. You know what I'm saying? And then I would go in there and I would hit and I would have like a weekend where I would just go crazy, knock out 2, 3 songs because I felt that I was. It's something happened in my life that inspired me to push me, and I was like, I'm feeling creative. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because I didn't go into the lab and go into the studio to create none of these records when I was like, all right, the album's going to be out by this time. I got to create these songs. No, these songs were pieced together over a course. 20-something songs were pieced together over the course of 2 years, and all of the songs were only recorded when I felt like recording, when I felt like creating. You know what I'm saying? With no deadline. After I got the songs done and I had enough songs, I was like, okay, I'm looking at this particular date to push it out. That was around the summer of last year. You know what I'm saying? It was around the summer of last year when I had all of those records done, except Like Nephew. Like Nephew ended up getting recorded around October. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah,
had all the songs done except Like Nephew, and I had the beat for Like Nephew, and I had the hook, but I was waiting on my feature. I was trying to figure out who I wanted to put on the record and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
that's
That's
important.
important. Right. You know what I'm saying? And if you look up the guy that Yoshi the feature, if you look him up, it'll make even more sense. The whole song makes even more sense when you actually know who Yoshi is, right? As an artist and his following and his fan base. So with you know with me it took so long because I just really didn't have that pressure of trying to blow up. Like I didn't make this album trying to be a rap star, trying to like trying to get a deal. None of that was it was on my brain, bro. It's like I'm finna make a dope album. Period. And however long the fuck it take me to make the album, so excuse me, however long it take me to make the album, you know what I'm saying? It's how long it take me to make the album. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how long it took me to make the album, and that's how long it took me to get enough songs to where I felt like I got enough songs to pick from, and it took 2 years. But again, I would go a month without recording. Had other stuff to do. Not really a priority right now. I'll get back to it when I get back to it.
Do you
Do you
prefer
prefer
recording like
recording like
that
that
when
when
it's
it's
like no
like no
pressure?
pressure? Yep. I don't think I'll ever do another album again. But if I did, that's the only way I'll do it. I'm not going in that pressure cooker, making songs, recording songs, feeling like, yeah, I got to do it right now. Cause like, no, nope. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I know. That's why people be like, you feel like this your last album? Yeah. Cause I'm not at my age. I ain't got 2 years to waste and wait to do another one. You know what I'm saying? But that's why I feel like the album's so good. Like everybody that listens to the album's like, bro, this probably your best album. And I'm like, and I recorded it on a whole different pretense and a whole different mission. You know what I'm saying? It's a legacy project for me. It's not about trying to get on or trying to do whatever. Now I want to make my money back for what I spent on creating it. So of course I want to sell some units. You know what I'm saying? I want to make my money back. At least what I made, but at least what I put in it, and with a little cushion. So that's why I got merch and all these other things, and I did a real album rollout because I'm making my money back off the merch. You know what I'm saying? Off the merch, and I got vinyls, and people are buying the vinyls, so I'm making my money back. What I put into it. You know what I'm saying? Right? Because I think I don't really got to spend the money for studio time because I have my own studio. You know what I'm saying? So all that kind of stuff. I don't have that kind of cost and overhead. Like you know what I'm saying? So when you start talking about what I paid to press up my T-shirts and my CDs and all that, I'm almost in the green already. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
that's
Oh,
what's
that's what's
up.
up.
That's
Right?
what's
You know what I'm saying? So I'm almost like probably about another month or so of just out here hustling and people finding out and moving a couple more CDs and T-shirts and shows and stuff. Man, I'll be right back to what I spent on everything. At least cutting even. You know what I'm saying? And then everything else would be a profit. So I look at everything practically like that right now from a business perspective. It's like, but creatively, it's like I made an album that I wanted to make, and people gonna have to love it or hate it. I don't really care, but I made the album I wanted to make.
I
I
respect
respect
that.
that.
Salute,
Salute,
tip my
tip my
hat.
hat.
Well,
Well,
one
one
wanted to
wanted to
know is
know is
you're a
you're a
producer,
producer,
but
but
what
what
equipment was you
equipment was you
using when
using
you
when you
first
first
started?
started? Oh, I'm from the MPC era. You know what I'm saying? So I'm an
Yeah.
MPC guy. You know what I'm saying? So I went kicking and screaming to DAWs, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like I went kicking and screaming, bro. I started out with a Triton and an MPC. That's how I was taught. One of my shout out to my guy DJ J Black. We was sharing we was me, him, and my homegirl Nikki Dangerous. We were all splitting the house, a crib out in Decatur on the east side of Atlanta. We all had our own rooms. All we shared was the kitchen, and we time of my life, bro. One of my best eras of my life, bro. We had a ball. Them 3 years, some of the best 3 years of my life, because it was all about like fun and music. You know what I'm saying? We were all artists. You know what I'm saying? We would share this big nice house out in Decatur. You know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that
Yeah,
sounds like
yeah. We was
that
all
sounds
in our
like a good time.
yeah, we was all in our 20s. We all, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? Everybody had gigs on top of what it was hustles on top of what we was cool. It was like this is around my second album. And after my first album, shout out to my guy DJ Funzo, who produced my first album, because you know I didn't know how to produce anything when I first started rapping. I was just an artist.
Right.
But when I moved in and got that house, and we was sharing that house with me, him, and Nikki Dangerous. It was actually Nikki's house because she bought the house, but she was like, it's too big for me, and like I need roommates. You know what I'm saying? And so she met me, and she was like, man, I was like, I'm looking for an apartment. She's like, man, no. That apartment, man, I said, like, I need some roommates. She's like, I want guys. I don't want to live with no females. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? She was like, yeah. So it's like, it all worked out. You know what I'm saying? And she did, Jay Black moved in because it was a 3-bedroom. You know what I'm saying? And he was a DJ, and he was also a producer, and he had an MPC and a Triton. And I was like, when he moved in, he was like, you rap? He was like, when we first met, he was like, what's up, Blizm? I was like, bro. And then he was like, hearing me rapping. So I was rapping on some of his beats. And then I was like, you know what I'm saying? You know, we turned the den into a lab. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So he had everything set up in there. And I'm like, yeah, so how you do this, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting here like, so he was like, oh, he was like, man, you got to ear to produce. He was like, I was a drummer. I grew up playing the drums.
Oh, really?
So I grew up playing the drums in church. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, I actually played an instrument, but you know what I'm saying? A lot of people never played the instrument, but I played the drums. And so he was like, bro, all you got to do is like learn the steps, like learn what the menus do. And he taught me in like a week how to use an MP to perfection. And then he taught me the Triton and on MIDI and all that. And then once I learned how to produce, I actually produced. That's how I produced. I got most of the production credits on my second album. That was a mistake. You know what I'm saying?
Why?
Because my second album, which is the Subterranean LP, is probably my least liked album. And even to me now, to this day, it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, going back listening at my catalog, it's like, that was my least favorite album that I did. Because it's like, I wasted a lot of bars, because in my arrogance, what I didn't understand then, I was so hyped I was so hyped that I learned how to produce. I was like, I don't need no producers, no, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, nah, I'm gonna do my own. I ain't gotta wait for nobody now. I can, crank my beats out or whatever. But my production wasn't like that yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hadn't really gotten that. It's like a lot of hard chops and samples, stuff that I would never get cleared now. And I ain't care nothing about that. I would get sued like hell for that album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't care about none of that. I put that album out anyway. I got a whole bunch of, because all I really know how to do was the MP, and I really didn't know how to play keys. So it's a whole bunch of hard chops and samples and stuff. So it's and I'm in the South. I'm in the South, mind you. So somebody up north would have loved it more so than people in the South. You know what I'm saying? Right? So people up north like the album, but people in the South was like, I don't know. Mind you, this is 2000 or something in the middle of Lil Jon and the East Side Boys.
I can see that.
Right. It's in the middle of their reign. So no DJ was like, I can't do nothing with this, bro. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? The beats ain't, you know what I'm saying? So I could get no play. It was just hard for me that album was like production-wise, I loved it, but it was a huge mistake to put that album out with that kind of production at that time. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, you might have had to move to New York for that one.
I would have. And Jay Black is from up top. That's the thing. So I learned how to produce from a up north cat. You know what I'm saying? I didn't learn how to produce from a southern producer.
Oh wow. Okay, so that make more sense. So
yeah,
just learning, so you had more of an East Coast feel to it.
Yep. And so, but I was in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like when I was trying to move that one, like, you know what I'm saying? And my first album, which was Blueprints in My Brain, that producer, Doc Zoe, he did most of the stuff on it. He from Atlanta. He East Point born and bred guy. So it had an ATL kind of, it had an organized noise kind of sort of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? And my album was like boom bapish, and it's like I'm going crazy. I'm doing super lyrical bars, and you know what I'm saying? It was like, yeah, but you in Atlanta, dog. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So yeah, you know what I'm saying? In 2002 at that.
Yeah.
It didn't work out well for me.
It's still like probably real dope, just didn't fit.
Yeah.
I think every artist has something in their catalog that goes against the brain.
Yeah.
What's out, but still dope. Like Common had Electric Circus.
Right. That's Subterranean is my one.
It was still dope.
Yeah, but some people be like if you go back lyrically, sometimes people be like, man, you should go back and just take all the ball, like go you. People was like, I don't care if you use Suno, just go take all the words and the hooks and then put them on newer beats. You know what I'm saying? And like redo Subterranean because some of the songs on there, I really was going crazy with the bars. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the beats wasn't it. And then it's like I was a new producer. It was like a lot of things. But going back, I could hear all my mistakes now on the album. You know what I'm saying? But I still got a couple of songs on there that people was like, oh, that's pressure. You know what I'm saying? But like I had 17 songs. Even I can say about 6 or 7 of them was like, yeah. The rest of them, I wouldn't put them on my album today if I had to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, things change. Like your experience changes your ears to me.
Yep. Yep.
You
Mm-hmm.
have that experience, you're like, I can't believe I did. I songs I did myself. I'm like, ooh, I cringe when I hear it.
Yep, it's like that. But I mean, I still love that album for what it did for me as far as submitting me as what that album really did for me more than anything though was like when I first did my first album, it was like, oh, you did a real. People were like throw it off like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dang, you did a whole album and like everybody was trying to get deals and here I am, this guy, this independent actually spending racks and putting out my own album, like real whole full color 6-panel layout. You know what I'm saying? And everybody around me is like trying to get deals. And I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna do my own. I'm tired of waiting on these guys. You know, I'm tired of going to these meetings. We keep going to meetings. We meeting with this manager and that manager, and they making all these false promises. You know what? I'm ready for people to hear me, bro. I ain't got time for this. You know what I'm saying? And I had bread. So whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man, come on, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna go and put my own stuff out. And people kind of looked at me like, oh, like, what are you doing? What do you mean what I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? I'm putting an album out. Then y'all see Master P do this? Then y'all see Cash Money do this? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I was surrounded around people that were like kind of sort of industry connected at that time. And so they were all playing the industry game. You feel me? The people that brought me into the people that first initiated me into the whole ATL circuit were people that were actually plugged in. My son's mother, she had just got off tour with Keith Sweat. You know what I'm saying? You
Okay.
feel me? And that's how I met like my first crew. That's how I met my first producer. My first producer, Doc Zoe, was her first cousin. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I met him. So these are people that already have had done some major industry stuff. So they were playing those kind of games. They were shopping deals. They were putting packages together to shop, to walk in the labels and all that kind of stuff. And I was with that. You feel me? But I was also tired of waiting. After like a year of doing that, I was like, bro, I came up here to do music and like nobody's hearing my music and this is like taking too long. You know what I'm saying? So I had some bread, I had some hustle. I was like, I'm gonna put my own stuff out and create my own label. And everybody was like, why you gonna do that? You just wasting time and wasting money. Maybe so. Maybe so. You know what I'm saying? But I did it anyway. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Because I'm like that. I was like, why? I didn't want to wait. So I had that independent entrepreneur spirit off the jump. And then the second album, it kind of showed everybody like, oh, he ain't playing. He really mean he a label. He gonna put his own music out. Like it was like everybody was like, oh, you did it again. Like I thought you would just kind of, I thought you would learn your lesson from the first time when you didn't blow up. No, I didn't learn my lesson for the first time. No, I didn't blow up. But what does that have to do with it? A lot of people heard those albums. A lot of people knew that record. I was performing. I made more money than all y'all did off music last year. Facts. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at it like that. Selling my own stuff out the trunk. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I made more money than y'all off music last year. And y'all still ain't got no record deal and y'all still ain't superstars, but I got music out and you don't. I won. That's how I looked at it. You know what I'm saying?
That's how only way to look at it, really.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So I did it again. You know what I'm saying? Everybody was like, at that point, everybody was like, okay, he on my, they knew right then Blizm will spend the money and Blizm will do what it takes to get the music out. And so that started making other people start coming along with the label. And that's how I started doing other projects. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Here's what I want to know. What made you say, you know what? I need my own radio station.
Ooh. Let me take a sip of coffee for that. Brother, this is we're talking 2000 and what were you doing in 2010? Let me ask you a quick question. Can you remember what the vibe was for you around 2009 and 10 for you in the industry?
Putting out my own mixtapes and making beats and everything and selling my mixtapes.
Let me ask you then, how many opportunities around that time did you feel like you had to get interviewed on a platform, to be interviewed by somebody?
Not too many.
Exactly. That's why I kept one. That's exactly why. As the same reason that I just told you why I went on ahead and did my album and went on ahead
Yeah.
and put my and self published and created my label. You know what I'm saying? And went and paid lawyers to make sure everything was set up and set up an actual company with the state of Georgia. Chainless Entertainment. It's been in business since 1999. You know what I'm saying? Everything that made me go out and do my own research and do my own due diligence, do that, is because I was like, I want my music to be heard, and I'm tired of waiting. Same thing with K100 Radio. I can't get interviewed for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I can't get no media coverage for nothing, and I'm an indie. But I got all this stuff out, and I'm dropping these projects, and when I drop them, it really ain't nobody to talk to. Remember, podcasts don't exist. You can't go live. YouTube wasn't what it was yet. Spotify didn't exist. You feel what I'm saying? So we're
Yeah.
doing all this work and we spend all this money, but and the people can see it, but the platforms are still ran by the majors. You know what I'm saying? All of the media platforms. There is not a lot of platforms that cater to indies. Even if you're talking about back then, if you were still into the source or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You still had to like get to a certain level before they would rock with you. You know what I'm saying? You feel
Oh,
me?
you have the street DVDs.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So what do? I build my own platform. And my mind frame is I'm gonna build a platform so I can help all my friends. Cause all my friends that I know that's doper than all these dudes y'all like, you know what I'm saying? As far as I'm concerned, you know what I'm saying? And they deserve credit and they not getting no looks. I'm seeing dudes that's better than me, got more numbers than me, that can out rap me, and they still can't get no. I don't never hear them on a radio interview or nothing. I never seen an interview with them. So I created my own platform. It really came from the same thing in me that went ahead and put my album out when people was like, why am I doing it? Why am I waiting? You know what I'm saying? If you got that same question you throwing at me, I'm throwing it right back at you. Why? You know what I'm saying? Why? Why not? You ask me why, I'm asking you why not? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And so that same thing is the same reason why I started K100 Radio. It was like I see way too many dope artists. I'm at all these shows, I'm at all these ciphers, I'm at all these, you know what I'm saying, showcases, and I'm seeing all these dope artists. Ain't no media there. None. Nobody's interviewing nobody. It don't exist. This is, again, so I'm outside. So I'm like, okay, at this point, mind you, I've already went back to school to learn how to be an audio engineer. I went to school in AIU in Atlanta for media production. With that course, with the courses that I took, right? It was a focus on audio engineering, but I also learned video production, media production, television production. You feel what I'm saying? Right? I learned to be a on-air producer. I learned how to do live shows. That was all part of the curriculum. You feel what I'm saying? I got all this knowledge in my head, right? I'm only using the audio engineering side because I'm only rapping, because I'm only doing music. But I got all.
Mm.
I'm also at this point. I'm starting to edit my own videos and do my own videos too. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm
Right.
an editor, right? I edited and shot my own videos. My first ones, I did them. You know what I'm saying? So I know how to do all that. But that's like helping me. But I'm thinking like, man, I'm looking around. I'm like, bro, every time I go somewhere, I go to all these big events. I would go into the big events. It's media everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But it's the source and double XL, and I'm seeing them, and I'm seeing the presence on the high levels, but I never see it at the indie events. And it kind of was. I was like, you know what, bro? At this point, I'm like four albums in. You know what I'm saying? Um, no, 3 albums in. And I had like four of the. I had well on a total on the label. I'm like 6 projects in. I had the South Park project, which was a compilation. I had the Loose Channing project. I had the first Vision project. So I had like different projects that I'm quarterbacking. I had the premeditated album, the compilation. So I've got all these other projects coming out on the label, but it's like even still, I can't get no media coverage, bro. I'm like, and I'm the CEO, so I'm really trying to, and I'm like, it's just a lack of outlets, and all that was the reason I was like, you know what? I got the expertise, I got the time, I got the money. You feel me? I was like, I can build my own platform way before people thought podcasting was cool. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I can
Yeah.
build my own. You know what I'm saying? And so I looked into internet radio. I was like, this is the most viable thing that makes sense that I can actually do. And I started it. And then what I did, I wasn't the first person to start internet radio, but what I will credit myself with, and I'll argue anybody in the city of Atlanta or anywhere else, I was one of the first ones that everybody saw outside doing live interviews at events for independent artists. I put that on everything. Ain't nobody, no, there's nobody. There were other internet radio stations that existed, but they weren't outside. They was in offices, in buildings. You know what I'm saying? And you had to
Yeah.
go. You still had to go to them, and you had to know somebody to know where they was at. No, ask anybody from Atlanta who was one of the first platforms they seen at an indie music event with banners set up, with microphones set up, and lights set up, interviewing people. It was K100. You feel what I'm saying? You feel me? I made everybody else come outside. And that's facts. And then anybody want to debate that, tell them to pull up their footage and did with a timestamp on it. You feel what I'm saying? And I pull mine up and see who came first. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be me every time. Because I started before all of them. All of them saw me and then started doing it. You feel what I'm saying? Right? Because I was like, every time I go somewhere, I don't never see no media. So I created a platform and then I bring it to the independent artist community, because that's what I created it for. Instead of sitting in the office waiting for everybody to try to find me, I brought the platform outside. That's why everybody started knowing about K100 Radio before everybody, even though you might have been around before me, nobody knew who you was because you didn't come outside. But I was a grinder. I was already outside with my music. All the promoters already knew me from going to the shows anyway. So when I popped up with something that can help the event, come on in, bro. I already know Blizm. You good. You feel what I'm saying? And that's how it took off.
Okay, besides your work ethic, what's one of the personality traits that you feel has helped you rise to the level you are now? Besides work ethic.
Uh, Work ethic is probably at the top. So like, I don't know, a personality trait. You know what? I'm an information junkie. And I don't know if that goes into work ethic or not, but like, I don't know, maybe that's kind of tied in work ethic, but I think more than anything, I love to find out and learn new stuff. So I guess it's kind of still work ethic. I don't know. But because everything was evolving so fast with the technology, you know what I'm saying? That kind of helped me kind of stay on point. So I guess that's still kind of work ethic. I guess other than that, I have never been a dick rider. It's not in me. You know what I'm saying? I think that served me well. Like, I can't just rock with somebody just because they popular. I never did it. I never wanted to be the cool kid, I guess. I don't know what that means. I don't know what kind of personality trait you call that, but I've never felt the need to be a part of a particular group per se. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not the type of person that would join a gang. Why? You gotta make sense to me. Like, I'm not the type of person that would join a frat. Why? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Like, and that's not a knock if you gang life, if you grew up in the gang culture, or if you are a frat person, you know what I'm saying, and you love your frat, that's all cool and that. But I could have never been a part of any of those organizations, because there's a personality trait in me that won't allow me to, like, you're not gonna have, I'm not gonna allow you if I got in order to be a part of your crew or your circle, I got to do something stupid, or I got to degrade myself to be a part of it. Fuck everything you got going on. You know what I'm saying? So, and that bled over into the industry. You know what I'm saying? That bled over into the industry. That's why everybody be like, bro, how do these people be like, when people realize who people are and they're people who know me, they be like, bro, how you ain't never get no deal? And I be like, you ask them. You know what I'm saying? Ask them. I wasn't going. Like, whatever BS they was on, bro. Like, I wasn't gonna sign a record deal knowing how bad the record deal is for the sake of saying I got a deal. You feel what I'm saying? Why would I do that? The first deal that I was offered by Warner, I took it to my lawyer. My lawyer was like, what the fuck is this? I was like, this. He was like, bro, do you know what this? I paid him $2,000 to go over my contracts. And he said, listen, this is a bad deal. That's all I had to hear. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care what everybody was telling me, bro, you crazy. Why not? I gave it to a lawyer. And he said, this doesn't make sense. You feel me? Right? They was like, you're going to be producing and writing everything, but they want all the publishing. You feel what I'm saying? And then you're going to be.
They wanted all you publish?
Yeah. And there was like, you're going to be, and you going in up under a publishing company, up under a production company. You feel what I'm saying? Which a lot of people do. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people sign with the production company who signed to the major. You feel me? That's how a lot of people deals are set up. And he was like, so they getting all the money before you get any money. And when you start breaking it down, and this was at the dawn of 360 deals, so then he was like, and what? He was like, and then this, then he's like, this one of these news contracts where they want some of your tour money. And I was like, oh, well, what? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, I'm good. But everybody's got those deals now. Yeah, everybody's got those 360 deals now. But that was this is 2004. You know what I'm saying?
Ooh, that's early with it.
Right. This is when I was bubbling, though. You feel what I'm saying? Right? I'm 2 albums in. I'm doing shows. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? Right? I had just dropped my most popular record, which was "You Don't Come Around" featuring Misbehaving. It was on FM radio. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. So people were like, okay, Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then everybody realized I was writing songs for a lot of other people. They thought they didn't know that. You feel what I'm saying? They're like, oh, you wrote that? Yes. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? You know what I mean? So then it was like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you may be like that, but you know, I want to be an artist. I know y'all want me for the. I know y'all want the pen, but now I want to. I need the guarantees that my album's coming out. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't you can't I ain't trying to be shelved and I ain't trying to be sitting here writing for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? I want my project to be a priority. Period. Point blank. And when you're going in up under a production company, which we still cool to this day, you feel what I'm saying? It's like, bro, like I appreciate that. I appreciate y'all trying to walk me in, but it wasn't gonna work because I just it was just like after what the lawyer told me and just the vibe that I got, I felt like they wanted me more as a writer than an artist, and I wanted to be an artist. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I think they wanted me to be a part of the production team and help produce more artists than they really wanted me to be an artist. But they was trying to offer me the deal because they know I wanted to be an artist. You know what I'm
Gotcha.
saying? You feel me? But like, there's no guarantees there's never no guarantee. You can get shelved you know what I'm saying? Warner can say whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever, bro, you can feed me whatever. But it was no guarantee the project was coming out. Like, it's just like, okay, this deal gets me in a room with a lot of known artists, and I might end up meeting the right person who might believe in me enough at the label, who might be the person that can actually really push my project as an artist. And I don't know how many years that's gonna take, or I can just keep putting my own music out and just roll the dice. You know what I'm saying? And after giving the after looking at the contract, going over the contract, and just talking with everybody involved, like, yeah, I don't, this ain't the right situation for me. I needed to go straight directly, like I needed a direct deal. I didn't need to go with I didn't need to go in up under a production company who's getting some of the cut when I'm doing all the work myself. Just
Exactly.
cause y'all are the plug though. You feel me? So I get it. Y'all the plug. Y'all walking me in the door. So y'all got to get something, but I don't feel like y'all deserve it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know when I get in there, I'm gonna be doing all the work. So
Hey, you writing and producing your own records,
yeah. So
engineer your own records.
and then there was and they were going to also force me to work with. In the contract it basically says you have to. I didn't have free leeway on my production. Like I can't.
Oh,
I'd have creative control over the project, which is really was the sticking point. You know what I'm saying?
they snuck that in there.
For somebody that's a true creative, what? Come on, bro. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
then
saying?
nah, nah,
That's
nah,
not gonna
nah,
work.
that's enough to walk away.
Yeah, I gotta have creative control over my product. If it fails, I gotta die on that hill. You know what I'm saying? Like I gotta die on that hill, bro. Like you can't limit to me. You can't tell me how to. You can't pick my single for me. Like I ain't trying to hear none of that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like and at that point the advance was gonna be what, 50 grand, bro. I got real bills at that time.
Yeah,
You feel me? I literally make more than $50,000 at the job I'm working, bro. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I make $75,000 at the job I work. You know what I'm saying?
And they gonna try to give you something less than what you made.
You know what I mean? So, that's why I didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
so, to this day, I don't know whether it was the right decision or not, but I live with it, and it is what it is. You know what I mean?
yeah. I believe you made the right one. Because look what you have going on.
Yeah.
Not everyone's meant to be on a major label and then have people tell them what to do. Not everyone has that personality where they want someone to lead them. You for me, you seem to be a very strong willed person who leads themselves. They don't let someone say, no, you do this. No, they dictate their own moves.
Right. Yeah. And I'm like,
So if you dictate your own moves, you got to be somewhere where they don't try to lead people for you.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, it was maybe, and my personality trait may have been that part of me. That personality trait is why it just wasn't gonna be for me, bro. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed the independent route, and I'm good with that, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I mean, I'm good because I still have I still raised 4 kids, put them through college, got a nice home, drive a nice car. I travel a lot. What? And I still own it. I still own every bit of every song that I created, and I can still do whatever
You
I want to
won.
do right now. You know what I'm saying? So whatever. You know what I'm
You
saying?
won.
Yeah, I'm just not famous. That's the only part. I'm not famous. Okay, cool. You know what I'm saying?
There's famous people that are struggling.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, all right,
Fame
bro.
ain't everything.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm good. I'm good with my life, bro. I'm good with my decision, and I'm talking to you right now because I was able to put a body of work out after 15 years of just not doing it. And guess what? I woke up and decided that I'm gonna do it, and wasn't nothing nobody could do to stop it but me. And here it is.
You know what you're doing? I say is what I say, creating at the speed of life. It's not light. You create at the speed of life. You're letting your life dictate when you're going to create and do it. You're not just going by the deadline. You're not saying, oh, it's been 15 years, I can't do it. You're like, no, I have something in me I have to express. I don't care if it's been 15 minutes or 15 years, it's coming out.
Right. That's it.
And you're just gonna make sure it's the high of the highest level. That's what
Yep.
artists and writers are supposed to do that. So I definitely do.
Absolutely, brother. I appreciate it for real.
Welcome, welcome. So where can they find your stuff, bro? Talking, but where can they get your stuff?
Oh, everything is ready, available. You can go. You can if you want to just don't want to remember something easy. It's dangerousunk.com. So we've been talking about the album Dangerous Unk. You see it behind me, dangerousunk.com, and that'll take you. It'll just forward you over. I bought that domain name too, just in case somebody wanted to be smart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I bought the Dangerous Unk and just basically rerouted it. It'll take you to chainlessentertainment.com, chainlessent.com, which is the hub. Well, from there you will be able to find all of the social media links. Connect with me on social media. I'm real easy to find. There's only one of me. There's not a lot of Blizms. So you type in Blizm on anything, I'm gonna show up every single time. If you type Blizm in Google, everything will be there. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, like you know what I'm saying. So if you type Blizm, you're gonna find everything. You're gonna find K1's Radio. You're gonna find Chainless Entertainment. You're gonna find everything. If you just type Blizm and drop it in Google, the first 5 pages are nothing but me. You know what I'm saying, right? You know what I'm saying. So but if chainlessent.com, and when you go to the website, you'll find where you can, of course, links to the DSPs, whether it be Apple Music, Pandora, whatever, Spotify. But you'll also have our store where you can buy merch or you can order the physical CDs, the vinyl now. All right, we're
Oh,
updating the
vinyl.
links. Yes, I got vinyl. You know what I'm saying? This was the first album that I ever did where I got vinyl done, and it's been an experience. Let me tell you, bro. If you want to do vinyl,
I was about to ask you about that.
bro, it is nothing like getting CDs pressed. The time frame, the requirements, everything is different. So if you're this is my first one out of all these years I've been doing music. I like I said I like to say I'm capping my rap, but I've been capping for over 25 years about something. Cause I always be like, I'm gonna put this down on wax. And I always say I'm putting it on wax. And like, yeah, not technically. You know what I'm saying? Technically it was always CDs. You know what I'm saying? It was never really on wax. You know what I'm saying? The term, I've used that term 1,000 times and never really did it until the Dangerous Unk. You know what I'm saying? This is the first album I actually kicked out and did vinyl. And that's because vinyl has made a huge resurgence. Like for the first time since 1983, Billboard just put an album, a write-up out, a huge write-up about vinyl out because it's a huge resurgence. For the first time since 1983, vinyl sales have crossed $1 billion. Since 1983. 83, not 93, not 2003, 83. Vinyl has sold $1 billion, right? So
it's been coming up.
it's back. Listen, bro. I have a lot of close friends that I have one really close kind of sort of guy that I really rock with for years named Tobago. He has a record store here named DBS Sounds here in Atlanta. Shout out to them guys. They've been in business for 30 years. One of the few black-owned record stores you'll find in the country. Still independent black-owned record stores. That's really tied into the industry. That's really, locked in with Luminate and everything. You feel what I'm saying? He told me if I don't do anything else, do the vinyl. Because he was like, I sell more vinyl than CDs all day and twice on Sunday. He's like, people, they have whole groups of people that go around doing what they call vinyl crawls, and they just trying to find new vinyl. So he was like, if you want to get exposure as a new artist, he was like, more people are more apt to buy a new piece of vinyl than they are a new CD. You feel me? Because it's become a niche thing, right? And it's a huge thing, and it's all overseas and in America too. So I was like, okay, listening to what he was saying, and the fact that this is probably my last album, and the fact that I never did it ever, I was like, I'm gonna kick out the money, and it costs more, way more to do than CDs.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Way more. I was like, I'm gonna kick out for vinyl, and so I went and got some vinyl pressed up, and it just got back last week. It just went on sale for last week, even though the album's been out for about a month now.
Yeah.
It took that much longer for them to get the vinyls back to me, and it was really dope to just. I went and bought a record player for this. You know what I'm saying? And to play my own, literally play my own record on a record player was a thing, was a moment after all these years. You know what I'm saying? So yes, you can order the Dangerous Unk vinyls, and you can also, if you're in the Atlanta area, or you can get them from DBS Sound, go walk, they're right there in the front. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I did get vinyls, and that's been like a whole week. I could spend 30 minutes on that whole process, bro. Like it really was, it's not the same as CDs at all.
Yeah, I heard it's very complicated. There's a lot of
Yes.
steps involved that you wouldn't realize.
Just know that if you get the vinyl, because of the way vinyl works and the way it's created, the vinyl copy of the Dangerous Unk only has 12 tracks, not the 14. I literally had to cut two songs off the vinyl version and shorten several songs by 30 seconds. The way they fade out way earlier than the other songs because you can only fit
Yeah,
so much audio on vinyls. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
So it's like, yeah, keep that into consideration as well. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I said that's why I'm like, y'all have to put the money up because I'm like the way I would have to do like a double album on vinyl.
Right. And I was like, and that was it was like either do a double album or take two songs off and shorten a couple of tracks. And I was like,
Yeah,
yeah. You know what I'm saying? Based on what this costs, definitely that's my only option here. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So but it still sounds great. It's a thing, bro. Putting it on there and hearing it crackle and it ain't
yeah.
something that you made on the sampler. You hear that real crackle and that song kicks in and it's like, yeah, it's dope. I see the feel and the aura of it. You know, even though my family had records and vinyl growing up, I was a kid. By the time I got into buying my own music, CDs was it. So I never really bought vinyl because I grew up in the
Oh,
CD
really?
era. You know what I mean? So, you know,
I got into CDs kind of late. Personally, I records was around. I was DJing,
yeah.
so
Well,
I
you a
was
DJ though.
just
So if you a
records
DJ,
would
if you
take.
a DJ, yeah. Now you a DJ, you need to have them vinyls. Yeah, you had to have them crates. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
for me, when I started creating music, when I became a fan of music, it was cassettes. When I
yeah,
first became a fan, I was buying cassettes. But once, of course, once CDs hit, cassettes was over because it was just way better quality, easier to
yeah.
CD cassettes died a quick death. One to the head, it was over. You know what I'm saying? Like when CDs dropped. So I grew up in the CD era. You know what I'm saying? So I had most of my collection with CDs. You know what I mean? But this was dope to get vinyl, and I encourage people to buy the vinyl. You know what I'm saying? Because it is something nostalgic and dope about it. For real, for real.
Definitely, definitely. So, dang. This has been a great interview. Very, very informative. But what's the biggest lesson that you've learned that you want to impart to the audience?
Um, Bro, based on just people like yourself telling me they feeling the album and other people giving me these rave reviews, other these platforms and people really just hitting me on my phone, like calling me, inboxing me, like, bro, I actually love this album. What I can tell anybody is, bro, when you know you got something or you feel like you got something to give the world, please leave how old you are, your age out of the equation when you considering doing it or not. Unless the fact that your age also equates to some sort of medical condition that makes it difficult for you to get around, which is not the case to me. I still feel young. You know what I'm saying? So it's like unless that's the case, bro, like don't let your age stop you from doing nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you still got the physical ability to do something, drop it because it's crazy that a lot of people are telling me, bro, I've been rocking with you for years. The new people that are just discovering me are like, damn, I ain't even know. I ain't never heard of you, but I like this album. You know what I mean? And the older people are like, bro, I've been rocking with you for 20 years, and this is my favorite album. You know what I'm saying? You feel me? And
That's dope.
I heard all your other ones. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, just my life lesson here is, do things at your own pace, do things in your own time, but don't never let nobody tell you too old to do nothing, especially hip hop. They can go to hell.
Exact. Gasoline draws on too.
Yep.
All right. Thank you. This has been a great interview. I know you have a lot to do. I'm gonna let you go. But before we go, just let them know again where they can get the merch. Because there's a lot of dangerous unks out there, they're gonna need
Exactly.
it. That
Yeah.
the records, the streaming, all that.
Everything is at chainlessent.com or dangerousunk.com. And again, just look me up on social media, Blizm. I'll pull up everywhere. Connect with me on Facebook, social media, Spotify. If you are a streamer and you like to consume music by streaming, I got no problem with that. It's cool. But at least do me a favor and like hit that follow button on me. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't mind, share. You know what I'm saying, on those streaming platforms. You know what I mean? That goes a long way for independent artists. But yeah, everything is chainlessent.com, dangerousunk.com. You feel me? And shout out to Vibing with Reeves. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my guy Cutie Question for plugging this. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Shout out, Q.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was a real dope interview. I appreciate you for your time, man. You feel me? Y'all rock out with
Thank you.
Vibing with
Appreciate it.
Reeves. You know what I'm saying? For sure. It's a good
No
interview.
doubt, no doubt. Follow me, man. Follow him. You know, follow K100 too. You know, Laminate and Bob with Reeves. Tune in Fridays. You know what we do. ReevesENT.com and that's it. Y'all have a great one. Stay up and do your best.
Absolutely. Salute.
Salute. Have a good one, y'all. Stay up, be blessed, be safe. Yeah.